I'm just going to do a pretty much whisper ramble. A little soft spoken, but mostly whisper ramble. Total randomness. Bunch of different topics. With some cinnamon trident. We gotta do our housekeeping. If you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh geez. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. If you're old here, go double check. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like if you like. Leave a comment. It could be anything related to the video. Or it could just be a hello, a howdy, a how you doing, a few emojis. Anything as long as it's cool, respectful. Hit the notification bell. As always, I will link my tip jars down there, down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every $1, every $2, every $5 is very much appreciated, and that's what allows me to continue to make content. Follow me on Instagram, same name over there, Net Nonsense ASMR. Post more nonsense, and that is where you can request custom vids. TikTok is just Net Nonsense. It's not Net Nonsense ASMR. It's just regular nonsense in a regular voice. How come nobody told me about the channel on YouTube? She's called ASMR The Chew. I freaking love her, and she's been around for 6 years. How come that never cut? See what I mean when I tell you that the YouTube algorithm is like, that's right up my alley. Right up my alley. And YouTube never suggested her channel to me. So I've been pretty much binging. Let me double check and make sure that that is her channel name, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's basically gum chewing and like eating, and of course it's just not going to be in my suggestions now. You know, never mind the fact that I just added her, so you'd think they would be like, yes, you're on, you just watched 10 of them, shouldn't you watch more? It'll be in my history though. Yes, it's capital ASMR The Chew. So if you like gum chewing, which you probably do if you're here, check out that channel too. I'm sure you already have. I'm probably like the last. YouTube was holding out on me. Alright. So, some big news. As you know, I have been recording for Patreon for like a few weeks or a few months. I don't know. I don't have a good sense of time. So I've been like loading them up on there. I'm not going to put the link down here until I hit a certain number, and that number I'm not saying. That said, it's there and it's searchable. So I have three Patreons. Ida, Nick, and Carolyn. It's pretty exciting, and I kind of like it this way because it's just like a nice, soft, slow transition into me having, you know, this channel and my Patreon. Like, it couldn't be more perfect. It's so exciting. It does mean that I have to find more time to record, so I'm trying to plug, you know, these little sessions in. Like, usually I record in the mornings. I'm also going through, my husband's having like these shift change things happening now too, so I'm like, oh shit, how are we gonna do this? But we just bust out the calendar, and like tonight, it's kind of early evening. I finished dinner and everything, and my husband has to work really early in the morning, so I was like, well, why don't you guys just go to bed? They're just gonna lay around and watch TV in the bedroom, but my toddler and the dogs up, so I could have a few hours to record, which is very helpful and very appreciative. It's good to have a partner that, you know, lets you do your thing. Like, reasonably, you know what I mean? Like, if all I did was sit in a room and do ASMR, that'd probably be a little annoying. But, you know, you have to plug things in and make time for everything, which is kind of exhausting, but... Ooh, I just bumped you guys. Sorry. But normally I record at like 4 a.m., which is not easy, but like I kind of fell into that because it was the only quiet time in the house. I'm just gonna have to make more quiet time. The only thing that might interrupt this video is my teenager, because where I'm recording tonight is kind of by the front door, and she's out gallivanting. But she should be home within the next hour or so, and I did text her, like, be quiet, I'm recording. So we'll see if she remembers. Alright, so here's a little story time. So, you know, I've only had my car for a few days, less than a week, and I had to make my first grocery order. And I wanted to look at my skeleton cup. So I had to make my first grocery order. I also wanted to try Aldi. I cannot figure out how to use the app to grocery shop, but I could figure out how to grocery shop just doing like Aldi.com. I don't know. Somehow I figured it out, but not through the app. And I was like, okay, this is pretty awesome. Everything has lower prices than Target was where I was originally. Since the pandemic, I had been grocery shopping Target orders pretty much, mostly. So my first like switch to online ordering from Aldi. I had been in person, but not online. I was like, okay, this is good. Everything looks cheaper. Let's do this. Got a bunch of soups because I'm super excited for soup season. I got soup bowls for cheaper than, like, they're not soup, they're travel soup mugs. They're soup mugs for $3.99. And everywhere I had been looking for them was like $7.99, $9.99. And they're big too. Sorry, my nose is running, as always. Every time I start talking a lot. So anyway, it was really fast. They text you, whereas Target is just like, you kind of find out after the fact what they don't have. You know, Aldi's texting you in real time. Like, we don't have this, we substituted this. If you don't want that, then like you can click on whatever. So that was pretty cool. Overall, that experience, that part of it was great. I think I put my order in at like 11, and it asks for me to pick a time to pick up, and you have to select like what hour, like 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., whatever, and I was going to go 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., I think, or 4 to 5, I can't remember. It didn't matter because they hurried up and did my order, and they were like, come whenever you want. Just holler from the parking lot. I was like, whoa, that's way different than Target. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to knock this out on when I'm picking my daughter up from school. I'm going to do like this little, like, because it's on the way, perfect, blah, blah, blah. Pull up in the parking lot, and you just click the link, like, hi, I'm here. They come out. Guess what? For starters, this is where I first started getting like all out of sorts was when somebody almost ran me off the road on my way there. They didn't check their blind spot. Almost hit me. I'm laying on the horn. I'm like, oh my God, I've only had this car for a few days. I am tired. I am tired of driving defensively. I just want to drive regular. I am tired of making sure people don't hit me. So I'm like flustered from that. I pull up at the grocery store. I'm like, okay, we're here. Guess what? There's no button in my car, in my new car, to pop the trunk. What? Is that one more thing they're taking away from newer models of cars? I had to get out of my car and pull the hatch. I was like, this can't be right. Guess what? There's nothing on Google. Nothing. So I'm like, well, maybe my husband, can use his guy senses. But we'll get to that. We won't get to that. I'll just tell you, no, he got in the car too. There's really no button. There's literally no button. And it's not my key fob either. My key fob does not pop it. It unlocks it, but it doesn't pop it. It doesn't pop it. It doesn't pop it. So you mean all winter, every time I go pick up groceries, or every time my kid wants to throw something in the trunk, or her skateboard, or a ball, or my toddler wants to throw his bike in there, I gotta get out of the car, come around and pop the trunk? You gotta be kidding me. Okay. I'm hoping I'm gonna pull up to the dealership and be like, do I have this right? But wait, it gets worse. So I'm like, so I get out of the car, open the trunk, wait for the groceries. She comes out. She's like, all right, you're all set. And she shuts the door. I'm like, okay, grab my kid, come back to the house. And I'm like, hey kid, we gotta get these groceries in. So go out and pop the trunk by hand again. And she grabs a few bags and she goes, and I was like, what? Guess what? Brand new car. Couple days old. These Aldi workers, this Aldi worker or whoever, however many hands this went through, didn't check the lid on my detergent. The lid was not secured on my detergent, and the detergent spilled all over my brand new car. My ears are getting hot. My chest is getting hot. My eyes are welling up. I have somewhere to be in like an hour. I hadn't eaten. Like, I was supposed to bring all these groceries in, heat up some soup, and be on my way. So I'm like, oh my God. I try to get as much of the detergent up as I can with something dry to like soak it up. But then it's time to wash it. And when I tell you that this puddle of detergent went from like this big to this big, every time I was wiping it, it was getting bigger. It was getting so much worse. So much worse. I spent a full hour. I mean, I just like coming in and out of the house with rags and water, and I was using like my old license plate to kind of like scrape the soap out. It was raining outside. I was crying. This can't be real. It was real. So I didn't get to eat. I have to look. I don't know how bad it looks now. I did what I could. It was yesterday. I have to look again. I'm kind of scared to look. At least it wasn't milk, you know? I've had that happen before, but not in a brand new car. So I don't know. So then I'm like on my way to where I have to be, and my gas light comes on. Because, you know, this is a new car to me. I wasn't sure like how low is low, blah, blah, blah. And it was fine. I had some cash on me. Pull over into the gas station. Hand him my 20. Man, we can't take this 20. It's too old. The 20 was too old. And then I remembered that I had already tried to use that 20 at like another gas station a week before. So I'm just like stuck with this 20 at this point. And like the first time I was like, so what do you mean you don't take it because it's old? I was like, don't you guys have one of those markers? She's like, no, it's a real 20. We just don't take them anymore. Now I understand it's not her policy and it's not her fault. But I'm mad at the idea. Because I was like, well, what if this is my last 20 and I'm out of gas? And she goes, oh, you just... Stop right there. I'm sick of people saying just, as if we have the energy and the resources to do this. As there's no just to anything anymore. We're burnt out. She goes, oh, you just go to the bank and ask them to change it. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Because you have to go to your own bank. So if you're at a gas station here and your bank is 25 minutes away, you don't just go over to the bank. You can't just walk into any bank and be like, hi, can you do something for me? They don't do it. So there's no just. And if you're out of gas or you're out of time, so I guess I gotta hold on to this 20 until I go to my bank and be like, can you help me? I don't know. Just freaking annoying. Anyway, that's kind of like the little negative Nancy part for now. I think there's more. Anyways, I still have a few things to I went with the light lit me up again. I have a few things that I still have to get ready for this reception that we're having. I need to order a dress and some shoes. I'm not excited about it. I'm not excited about I'm excited once it's all like once it's go time. I'll be like, all right, let's enjoy this. Let's hang out. But all this prep, not excited. I could never be, I could never have anything on a big scale. I know that. I've always known that. But even try to do things on a little scale is overwhelming. You know, there's food, there's decor, there's clothing for myself, for my kids. There's so much to think. This list is just, I feel like I'm knocking 2 things off and I'm adding 4 things to it. So this part, not a big fan. I can't wait until like it's on, music's playing, everybody's starting to get their food or whatever. That's the part that I am looking forward to. I kind of wonder why there's not more like sweatpants weddings. Like sweatpants and sub sandwich weddings. I don't know. I did have a little registry on Amazon, but I don't even know how you pass out that link without being rude. Like, how do people pass out their registry links without feeling rude? And why am I like this? It's normal. It's totally normal, Natalie. I don't know. I'm still working like very part-time right now. And it has been unbelievable, like 3 weeks of people contacting me and then not following up with booking their appointment. So I've spent anywhere from 30 minutes a day to 4 hours a day going back and forth with people who reached out to me to book an appointment that don't end up booking their appointment. Now, I don't mind at all if somebody messages me like, hello, can I get the information? Here you go. Have a couple questions. Here you go. But then we need to stop. We need to stop until you are fully ready, because you cannot have me on the line back and forth for hours or the whole day, you know. asking questions that I've already sent the information from, having me look for times to book you in, and that time didn't work, and back and forth. I already sent you a list of times, you know. Like, somehow they're holding me up with a million texts without booking, and I've just done hours and hours of work for free. It's just happening, like, increasingly. It's mostly with new contacts, because if somebody already has been to me, they're pretty good about, like, hi, I need to book an appointment. What do you got? No, that doesn't, you know, or yes, it does. Get boom, 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 secured. But I would say every day I've been doing hours, at least 30 minutes to hours and hours of work with back and forth with people, which I haven't done that since I was brand new. Because if you're not sure, don't book the appointment, you know? It's just that people flirt with the idea of something. Like, that's fun to them, to, like, flirt with the idea of something. They don't even have to be serious. They just like to flirt. They don't see that as a waste of time, because they can't really look past themselves, you know? I don't know, I said what I said. But meanwhile, while I'm home a lot right now, I'm like, well, what can I do from home? Because I'm still waiting. I still have a lot of balls in the air and other stuff I'm waiting on. It's like, maybe I should dog sit, because I already got my 2 dogs. And it sounds fun. Like, I prefer dogs. I prefer to work with dogs. There are some concerns, though, because, you know, I have a toddler. So I could only take dogs that are pretty chill, you know? I don't know. What if they, like, wreck your house? Or is that an extreme? Because I've watched a lot of dogs. But I've always watched dogs for friends or family. So the dog already knows me, probably knows my dogs. I know that they've been, like, well kept and well trained and stuff. You don't know when you're taking somebody's dog for the first time that you've never met. You don't know. You're just kind of hopeful that they're... And I don't mean, like, normal dog stuff. You know, like, yes, you have to give them stuff to chew, and yes, you have to let them out regularly. None of that's a problem, because my dogs are pesty. My dogs like to go out every 2 hours. Sometimes every hour. They are so ridiculous. So, like, that end is, you just throw another shrimp on the bobby, you know? You know, are the dogs jumpers, or do they get on the furniture? Well, my dogs used to get on the furniture until we got new furniture. And they were like, all right, we have to start training them. And it did. It took a few weeks to get my big dog. Well, my big dog was pretty fast. He only tried it like 2 times. And we were like, no, like, you are huge now. You are like 75 pounds now. I can't do this anymore. My little dog, he's gunning for it. He still gets in the bed, but not on the couches. So we'll see. I'll start slow. Start slow and just see where it goes. But my mom said her dog sitter is always booked. Always booked. So I'm like, well, what if I fall in love with it? You know? You never know. You never know. It might just be the right thing for me. But ideally, for my brain, I know that I need to do a few different things. I can't do the same thing every day. I can't do it. I get burnt out so fast. In a perfect world, I'd have 4 jobs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They would be 6 hours long. It would be from like 6 a.m. to noon, or 7 a.m. to 1, ideally. and totally different. Like this day you're doing something kind of active, this day you're just sitting in a chair, you know, like something like that. Like that's how my brain wants to be. That wants to be doing something that I kind of know what I'm doing. It's cool, but I'm not overwhelmed by it, and I'm not like run to the ground by it. So how do I make that work? That's where I'm at right now. We'll see. We will see. Anyways, if you are still there and you watched this total weirdo ramble all the way to the end, thank you very much. Thank you for sticking around. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening, and or a good